Welcome to episode 3 of Three Guys Who Know Nothing Discuss Everything with myself, Ben Aaron Hollis, Sean Ru-Ssell Adams,
hello,
and Robin Brown.
Yo.
And we're all here.
Whee!
We are all here today. This is
Finally.
Incredible. It's only taken us 3 episodes. Third time lucky though,
Third time's a
as
charm.
they say. There we go. So you all had a good day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Been at work, both of you?
Raining.
I went to Go Ape today.
Did you?
Were you at work today, both of you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Nice. I'll Go Ape. Flying around the trees. I wasn't flying around anywhere. I'm scared of heights.
God forbid this guy had any bills to pay.
I know.
Oh, I know, right?
I know.
Damn.
But there we go. I had a good day. I'm glad you had a good day as well. I'm glad. I know I went to Pizza Hut as well, so...
Never
Well,
rated Pizza Hut.
Don't know if you
Just
could say
always
that.
leave
Well, no, I had a
disappointed.
I had a Pizza Hut.
Oh,
Was it Saturday? Saturday night?
brought the tone
Yeah,
down
it
a
was
little
Saturday
bit.
night. Takeaway.
Was it alright?
It was good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I've had Pizza Hut takeaway. It's good.
On the
isn't it?
app
Yeah.
as well. It worked really well.
Maybe the takeaway is better then. I just find that, I don't know if it's just the Salisbury one, but the service is awful.
What one do you go to? There's the
Salisbury.
restaurant one and there's the Fishton Street one.
Oh, the restaurant one.
Ah, see, I ordered from the Fishton Street
Do
one.
you
Well-
get takeout, do you?
See, I went to the takeaway the other week, and I went to the restaurant today, and both times it was fine. Yeah.
Maybe you're just fussy. Do you like
What day
Domino's?
did you go on?
I don't know, it might have been like a Friday. It doesn't seem to matter what day I go in there, it always seems to be empty.
Oh,
They never seem to have any customers.
Mm.
So that is the biggest dispute in pizza world, isn't it? Domino's or Pizza Hut?
I don't like
John's.
Domino's.
I do.
I like Papa John's.
Oh, you're from the
can't
third
eat-
in there.
I
I
find
can't-
Papa John's pizzas are too small.
I can't eat... That's just gonna be crazy.
They're not big enough.
I can't eat Domino's because I get bad headaches, and the next day I feel really sick.
Oh, that was
That's
because
because you're not supposed to eat the entire Domino's.
Why not?
You ate the box as well, yeah. No, didn't you go for a bit of a stint of like smashing a Domino's
Domino's.
Domino's.
like every night for like 2 weeks or something?
I'll probably like once or twice a week.
The one thing
Maybe Matt.
Domino's has over the other
Can't stop saying Domino's
is
now.
the garlic and herb sauce pots.
Yeah.
No
Papa
one
John's
else can do-
not do that.
no
I would
one else
approve
can
on that
copy it.
one.
Don't even get them a Pizza Hut.
No.
Don't get anything.
Get mayonnaise.
The thing is with
For
it, it's like
free.
it's a weird garlic and herb mayonnaise kind of thing, isn't it?
Is
And
garlic
no
and
one-
herb the best sauce?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Second to then in second place comes the sweet chili sauce from McDonald's.
See, again, can't eat McDonald's. Gives me a headache.
I can't eat McDonald's
Gives you a
either.
headache.
Yeah.
I
Really
always leave McDonald's feeling very disappointed.
Do you reckon it's something in the bread?
don't know. I tend to not be able to eat greasy, like, takeaway food because I just get headaches. Speeding fines we're going to discuss this week, and that is because me and Rob both got a speeding fine on the same day from the same place. Rob,
Did you get it on the same
tell
day?
us what... Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is you guys are
Just
both
coming out of a village, going around the bend, and the van's on the right
It
hand
was like
side
in
in
a
a
bus
lay-by.
stop.
rules.
Yeah.
So you guys are both reckless drivers. That's basically what
Well,
you're saying.
now, see, here's the thing. This is where the plot thickens. Now,
Oh, okay.
Rob, how fast were you going?
I was going 44.
In a 30. So you can kind of see why maybe you got in trouble there.
However, I would like to point out that it wasn't built up, and it was about 150 metres outside of the town.
And you're coming up to the national speed limit sign, so you're kind of building speed.
Correct.
Yeah. So you're... Have you got any points on your license?
No, yeah, I will do when I send it to him. I haven't done that yet.
So you're not doing the course?
No, I can't.
You can't?
This is the kicker, because to be eligible for the speed awareness course, you need to be at 43 miles an hour and under.
Mhm.
And I was 44. So instead, I got
Yeah.
lumbered with a £100 fine
Mhm.
and 3 points on my
3
license.
points.
But what my plan is, because I managed to hold, I only paid the fine about 2-3 days ago.
Mm.
So what I'm going to try and do is just hold out from sending my license back until I renew my insurance in October.
Don't know if it works like that.
Actually, it's due in September.
And I don't know if it works like that for the reason why I'm about to tell you. So, I also got caught, very same day, doing only 37.
37.
Not quite 44 miles an hour. 37. Following 4 other cars. Not really paying attention to what was going on. Just kind of following the cars in front. So, I mean, yes, it's my fault, but not really.
Were there cars behind you?
No. Which makes me think that only I got caught. The
Yeah.
cars in front of me probably didn't get...
So
the
Yeah,
are
camera
you
probably
telling,
couldn't
are you
get their
telling
number
me
plate.
that if you were following a group of people and they all jumped off of a cliff, you'd do the same thing?
Probably, yeah, probably, mate, probably.
37 miles an hour. You
So
are
I'm
gonna
driving
die.
along 37 miles an hour,
in the area
And,
where you're 200 metres out of people.
Oh,
It's just fields on
it's
both
200
sides.
now.
200. It was 150 a minute ago.
It plot thickens, honestly.
Yeah, so,
So-
250 metres outside of town.
Yeah. So anyway, 37 miles an hour at Court.
3 miles out
I
of
got-
town.
I got this letter through, and you see here it says notice of intended prosecution. Basically, exceeding 30 mile an hour speed limit at 17:57 hours.
Half an hour before me.
Was it?
No, after me. I got caught at about 5:10.
So just after you.
Just after me,
Oh,
that was
God.
it.
So
Sneaky
anyway, you weren't able to do the speed awareness course then. So I was £110, right? So I write down all my details. I send that away to them.
It's only an extra
And-
tenner to do the course.
£10, yeah.
You thieving bastards.
I then rang my insurance because my insurance was due 2 weeks later. I know on the thing that when I'd already set up a policy with another company, and I know on the thing it said, have you ever had a speeding fine or anything? And although when I took out the policy I hadn't, prior to the policy beginning, obviously I would have done because I've already set it up. So I called them and said, I've got a speed ticket just through today. Does it affect my policy? And they were like, probably will do. We'll have a quick chat, blah, blah, blah. And the guy went, oh, I'm really sorry, Mr. Hollis. And I was like, oh my God, what? Going to be £254, that one. Extra. On top of my insurance, £254.
What?
Plus then the £110 that I've got to pay.
For the
Did you pay for it
course.
up front
Plus,
as well? Pay for
yeah,
insurance up front?
yeah. Plus then, it's done by Dorset Police. So plus then the travel to either Bournemouth, Poole.
It would be
somewhere
Paul.
else.
It would be to Wall.
Yeah.
Queen Bisset.
Plus the day off work I've probably got to have.
As if you don't have enough days off work.
Yeah, this mistake is totaling up to about £300-400. I'm going to ignore that you said that. £300 to £400 for driving 7 miles an hour over the speed limit. So I've paid both of them. I then got a letter in the post from the police a week ago saying, we apologise, Mr. Hollis, there was a clerical error. Basically, the speeding fine was rescinded.
Oh, right.
And so I was like, and it said, I apologise for any inconvenience caused. And I was like, you know what, that's great, fantastic, brilliant. And it was only like a couple of days before I realised, actually, I've paid money to my insurance company for this.
They give it
And
back
so
to
I'm
you?
so out of pocket. They will do. I've sent them like the letter. They had to see the letter from the police. I sent that to them. But I am so out of pocket because I've just paid for my car insurance and I've had a couple of crashes. I've only been driving 2 years.
How much did it go up by?
It's £1,000.
Do you know how much my car insurance is to renew this year?
Go on.
£1,900.
Oh my God, you've had a lot of crashes as well.
I've had
haven't
2
you?
crashes and 3 points.
Yeah. And so I've paid up that, then I paid up the 200, and I paid out the fine, and I'm like, that's great. I'm going to get that money back. That's fine. That's not what I'm angry about. It's just the fact that I'm then so out of pocket for so long for something that I thought at first was obviously my fault, but clearly it wasn't.
How long do the points stay on your licence for?
5 years.
5 years, is it?
How many points is it before you lose your license? 12.
12.
Is it
But you
12?
can mitigate. So, for example, if I was at 9 and I met a guy on my speed awareness course I did when I was like 17. I met a guy that had about 18 points on his licence.
What?
Because you go to court and you have mitigating circumstances. So, for example, if I lost my licence, I would lose my job.
Yeah.
So, therefore, if I went to court over it, I could use mitigating circumstances and they would give me the points, but they wouldn't necessarily take my licence off of me because it would cause further repercussions for my family. I then wouldn't be able to pay my bills because I'd lose my rent, so I'd lose my house.
Yeah.
And it's considered unjust.
But you could only probably do that once. If you got caught speeding again, they'd be like, look, no, we gave you a chance.
I know a guy that he got away with it several times.
Well, 18 points is,
Ridiculous.
that's a lot over 12.
Yeah.
No, twice. So what happens like after 5 years? Does the whole thing get wiped? Or
Right, so basically, I know this is bad, I know this. Basically, when I was 16, I got 6 points for an undisclosed incident.
Okay.
incident?
And points stay on your licence for terms of topping up. So, for example, you can top up your points to hit 12, and then once you hit 12, you lose your licence. If you get more than 6 in the first 2 years of driving, you also lose your licence.
Ooh.
But in terms of topping up the points, After 3 years, those points are then removed from your license, so they're not on your license any longer. However, you have to tell your insurance company for 5 years. So they don't actually stay on your license, but the insurance companies want to know for 5 years post. Same as crashes. They stay on for 5 years.
Even crashes that are not your fault.
Correct, which can also go against you.
Yeah, as I found.
Because it just shows the way they look at it. I had a conversation with someone about this, is that they look at someone that's involved in lots of crashes or crashes that aren't their fault, shows that they drive on dangerous roads or around other dangerous drivers.
I decided to drive on a ring road next to a drunk 60-year-old woman who wanted to just sideswipe me. I don't know, that's my fault.
Well, you live in a dodgy area, mate.
Yeah, must do.
Put your insurance up.
Yeah. Time travel. Now, Stephen Hawking recently said that he had days previously held a party for time travellers and didn't tell anyone about it, didn't say anything, just held a party, told everyone afterwards, so obviously no one could be a bit of a fraud and turn up even if they're not a time traveller. I didn't say if anyone went, didn't say if anyone turned up, didn't say if nobody turned up, but it did get us talking about time travel. So, what do we believe? Do we believe in time travel?
Well, the fact that he didn't mention, he doesn't say, he neither confirms or denies whether anyone turned up.
I think he's lying. To be honest.
Yeah, he's probably having a laugh.
But
because he is like that.
Regardless, do we believe in time travel?
I actually watched quite an interesting video the other day, and I can remember brief bits of it about. I don't know if any of you ever watched, used to watch like Star Trek and like the teleporters they used to have.
Yeah,
No, I didn't. No.
And they
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only 22. I'm not really old enough for Star Trek.
You know,
you talk about Star Trek,
and the whole theory behind it was that it would break you down on an atomic level and then transport you to somewhere else,
and then hopefully the atoms go back together in a right.
Well, they've actually managed to do it.
Ones and
today.
zeros.
With
Yeah.
what? Today.
They've done it with
This very day.
Yeah.
Not today, but
Monday the 1st of August when we're recording
Yes.
this.
they've done it.
This year.
No, I haven't been serious. Is that what you mean? They've done it today?
No, not today.
Oh, when was it?
This year.
Oh, just in present time.
But basically, what they did is they managed to transfer only a grain of sand, but over about 10 kilometres.
So it's possible.
So
Is this time travel or just?
Well, there was a delay.
it's the theory that you could use the same technology for that. So, but the way that they looked at it is the way that it wouldn't work for the problem you have with doing it with humans is that in order for you to transfer, because what it does is it basically copies part A and then creates another version which is effectively a clone. But in order to do that, you have to completely destroy the original piece of sand.
So you're killing the original
The host
thing
and then creating an
So it's
exact
cloning.
replica.
So it's
Somewhere
cloning.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, I guess.
But can we just stay on topic? This is definitely time travel?
Well, it's the same technology.
It's what is going to be used for possible time travel in the future.
Potentially.
Right. Okay. Rob's belief is this. Is it?
I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Or
How are you going to go backwards in time?
Well, the other way of looking at it is, okay, are you thinking backwards or thinking forwards?
Well, no. This is what you're. What do you think?
If we're going forwards, you've already got that because you can just put people into like cryosleep, which they've already developed.
But they're not travelling that time. They're still there. They still
They
exist.
are.
They
It's
still
suspended.
exist.
Subconsciously, they're not.
Suspended.
But they still
Amazing.
exist in time. If you travel from the year 1950 to 2050, you don't exist in any of that time period between, whereas they still exist, they're just asleep.
I think the only way you'd be able to do it would be through a wormhole.
Okay.
You need massive amount of
So
gravity.
you think if you go through a wormhole, you end
just
up...
insane amount of gravity.
I
'Cause
don't
time
think...
changes, doesn't
How
it?
I reckon it would be
Okay,
is
so
that
we'll come back to the gravity thing in a minute.
how I reckon it would be is you wouldn't actually go back to your own past, you'd go back to another dimension's past. Or to another point in the timeline in a different dimension.
So you think that maybe if you were to go through a wormhole, you might end up what you think is back in the past, but actually it's another...
Completely different dimension.
It's a similar universe to ours, but
Yeah.
behind.
On a different level.
But
So
that's if multiverse.
This is
theory
just got, like this is
correct.
not what I expected.
Well,
this has got so this has got so deep so quickly.
Well, it's true though because time travel is such a vast subject.
Mm.
You know, multiverse theory would probably have to.
Come into it somewhere.
Yeah, because every single. If you imagine if multiverse theory was real, every single possibility would exist in another dimension.
It's
So the
Explain
multiverse theory is a theory in which there are infinite universes where every single possible outcome exists in one universe.
yeah,
It's
which,
explained
which includes a second ago.
Yeah.
So you could travel from one to
So
the
there's a
other.
universe somewhere where I'm wearing Sean's clothes and Sean's wearing mine, and that's the only change.
And there's another one where it's a second earlier.
They're exactly the same but before. Where we're not eating blue Doritos, we're eating red Doritos.
Yeah.
For
That's right.
further description, there is an episode of Family Guy that details it. That way.
Yeah.
I
Perfectly.
believe it's a film. It's called Journey to the Multiverse.
So Sean, your opinion is it's to do with gravity.
Gravity,
Because
yeah.
when there's a different level of gravity, time,
Yeah.
or what we've constructed as time, behaves differently.
Or it's a fabric. It can be
Oh, I
bent,
watched a
can't it?
film. I watched a film.
Interstellar.
It was Interstellar, where
Yes.
they went down onto the planet, and then when they came back, it was like 70 years later
Yeah,
because they were
they
so
went-
much closer to
They
ground.
went down for 2
No.
hours, came back, and 23 years had passed
There's
them
another
waiting
film
on the
as
ship.
well. There's an older film.
Does everyone end up like dying quite gorily on it?
I think so. And the
Yeah,
same thing
Event
hap-
Horizon?
Yes, Event Horizon.
Oh, shit.
Same thing
yeah.
happens in Event Horizon, I think.
You mentioned that. You hated that.
Oh, it's a
didn't you?
horrible film.
Didn't get on with that. Yeah.
Did not like it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Scary as hell.
But
It's
no,
like-
Interstellar
I don't
does it
particularly like scary
perfectly.
films.
Yeah, I thought Interstellar. Have
did
you
it
seen
perfectly.
Interstellar?
No.
You got to watch it. They're on a ship, and they go down to a planet, but the
Spoiler
gravity.
alert.
But the gravity is vastly different because the planet's near a wormhole.
Okay.
So they've only travelled maybe like 100 miles in terms of distance.
Not far at all.
But because they're so close to
The planet's very close.
the gravitational pull of the black hole, time moves faster. It moves slower for them than it does for everyone else. So in theory, the closer you are to a wormhole, the slower time
Yeah.
it gets.
That's right.
the slower time gets.
Yeah, because well,
So if you're at the wormhole for what you believe to be 10 years, you might then go away from it and actually everyone else thinks you've only been gone 10 seconds.
Oh.
So if
no, the other way round. I
think that's how you would end up going back in time.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't go back in
Kind of.
time as far as you're concerned. You'd go.
Okay.
As opposed to going back in time, you more freeze.
So you think
And
you think time travel is more of just a fabric of what actually time is?
Yeah, it's to do with gravity.
Because
in my eyes.
because of gravity and different parts of the universe having different
It's
levels
different.
of gravity,
I don't
then
think
time happens differently.
I don't think it would be possible to go back to a period in time.
You could look at it.
But I think what you could do is freeze yourself or in a certain level of amount of time, and then the world kind of moves faster than you. Kind of like if you imagine you've got a pin in a table with a piece of string going out to another pin, and then as you spin that round in a circle, the further out you are, the more distance you have to travel. The closer in you are, the less distance you travel. If you look at that distance travelled as time.
Yeah, Einstein did a theory on that. He said if each one had a stopwatch, that scenario, they would come back very differently. If they were set at the same time. But
like
they-
out in space,
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah. But like in Interstellar, two of them go down from the ship down to the planet. They're down there for 2 hours. They come back, and the guy who was left on the ship was 20 years older. He'd been there for 20 years in his mind. But they're like, we're gone for 2 hours.
If you're sat there for 20 years, I'd be a bit like, I reckon they're probably dead. I'm going to
Well,
leave.
yeah, I know.
I'm
But
gonna
he
go
couldn't
home.
leave you stuck in space.
He couldn't. Well, that's true. He couldn't, could he? He was actually stuck there, and he wasn't quite right either, was he?
Not when they got. Well, he'd been on his own for 25 years.
But is that time travel? Or is that just
I don't
suspended
know. I don't-
animation?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what... I mean, time travel, as we know, doesn't exist, so it depends what our own interpretation of time travel is.
Well, it depends. I mean, time travel has always been shown in movies as like instantly, like Back to the Future is a classic. 88 miles an hour, boom, you're in 1955.
That's what I was trying to do when I got my speeding ticket.
Yeah.
I was trying to go back in time so I
Do you
didn't
know
get a
how
speeding
fast
ticket.
you were driving? I do, but I'm trying to go back to 2001. I've got something important to do in America. See, now, I clearly haven't thought about this as much as you do. I have ideas on time travel, but all I have is the idea that I think you can probably go forwards but not back. And the reason why I believe that is that I think if you could go back, we would already know about it.
Don't know.
Well, the thing about the human race, that when has anything ever happened that hasn't remotely come out? If we could travel backwards in time, I feel like we'd already know, because there'd
Have
be
you
people just
YouTubed it?
appearing.
Have you YouTubed it? The
Well, just
pictures?
like we already know about all those vaccines and cures for diseases like the flu and things like that, just like we already know about those. But
Well, YouTube the top 10 time travel photos.
Well,
There's loads.
there are loads, but you don't know. I feel like if you could travel back in time,
you could also YouTube the
We
top
would
10
know about
Slender
it.
Man photos
Oh.
and you'll get the same amount of results.
Yeah. Nessie.
Or Man Bear
Oh,
Pig.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, the time travel ones
Man Bear Pig.
time travel ones are fascinating. Like some of the fashion.
I've got one here, which is my favourite time travel story. A guy called Rudolph Fentz. So Rudolph Fentz basically just appeared. He was 20 years old, or what he appeared to be 20 years old, dressed in the fashion of the late 19th century. No one saw how he arrived where he was, but he was stood in the middle of Times Square, looked very disorientated, confused, and got hit by a taxi immediately and was killed before anyone was able to intervene and say, "Mate, what you doing stood in the middle of the road?"
So he just appeared in the road.
Appeared in the road. No one saw him appear,
He was
but
just
everyone
there.
was like, "Suddenly there is a man
There
in the
he
middle of the road." Like a police officer did a report. There was suddenly just a man in the middle of the road, and then he got hit by a taxi and was killed outright. Now he was found with a couple of possessions by the morgue. He had a copper token for a beer worth 5 cents. He had a bill for the care of a horse and the washing of a carriage, drawn by a livery state on Lexington Avenue that wasn't listed in any address book. He had about $70 in old banknotes. He had a business card with the name Rudolph Fentz and an address on Fifth Avenue. And he also had a letter sent to the same address from June 1876 from Philadelphia. And then a medal for coming third in a 3-legged race as well, which
Wow.
just,
Don't do that.
prized possession. And none of them showed any signs of aging whatsoever. Now, a police officer tried to obviously identify the man, went to the address that was on the letter and on his business card on Fifth Avenue, and the current owner of the business had no idea who Rudolph Fentz was. His name wasn't listed in the address book, his fingers weren't recorded, fingerprints weren't recorded, no one had reported him missing. This police officer continued to investigate and finally found a Rudolph Fentz Jr. This apartment building that the copper went to, the guy had died a couple of years earlier, but his wife was there. Now, the wife said that Rudolph Fentz Jr., his dad, had disappeared in 1876. No, sorry, his granddad had disappeared in 1876, age 29, had left for the house one evening to go out for a walk and never returned, and nobody could ever find him. So it's believed that this guy had gone out for a walk, somehow stumbled upon time travel, had gone completely missing, and then had turned up
in New York
in 1952. Yeah,
that's a bit weird.
Well, that backs up the theory of suspended animation, isn't it?
no,
In that he
because
has
it's appeared in the middle of
yeah, but
1956.
people do just appear. I'm pretty sure every person that gets hit by a car, whoever's driving goes, they came out of nowhere.
But this man disappeared
There was a
in
man.
1876
there was
and then
a man.
reappeared in 1951.
Whether
So
it
he
was the
was,
same
he
man,
was.
we don't
So
know.
that man may have been taken by the government, for example, placed into some kind of test
and
chamber.
not aged.
How would? Well, yeah, because that's the whole idea of stasis.
But that is a very strange story. Let's be honest.
It is very strange. Theresa May.
Oh my gosh, she is scary as.
She's a psychopath.
She is
Have
mental.
you ever watched those Jeremy?
Actually, that's the best word for her.
that
yeah,
news,
Pure
who's that
psychopath.
the news reporter that does those funny.
Jonathan Pye. or
Jonathan
something
Pye.
like
You
that,
watched
yeah.
them?
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
brilliant. Compared Theresa May to Thatcher.
Yeah, but the thing now,
Because she's a woman.
now the thing is though, if you compare Theresa May to Thatcher, that for me is talking about how terrible she is. But I need to be careful with that's my opinion, and there's a lot of people with a different opinion, a lot of people with very different opinion. If someone else out there would say, "What do you think of Theresa May?" and they'd say, "Oh, she's just like Thatcher," and that would be them paying her the highest possible compliment.
Yeah.
Thatcher actually did some quite
She's
good
worse
things.
than Thatcher.
What did she do good?
She brought a lot of stability.
Don't say that up
To
north.
who?
Don't say that up north.
To who
They'll
did
kill
she
you
bring
for
stability
that.
to
Wealth.
the higher class? Yeah, she's done just what David Cameron did.
She
brought
does what-
stability
she-
to the
Yeah,
high
she-
class.
Well, I
that's
quite
what the
liked-
Tories do, though.
The thing with Theresa
Well, I
May,
know,
is
yeah.
I've got a friend that my best friend lives in London. His their local MP was Theresa May, and his parents and his family absolutely adore her. I think she's great for the country. I think she'll be a fresh breath of new life. And you know what? Though she has got some really dodgy policies, and she's actually quite right. I think she is, isn't she?
What do you mean?
Right
wing.
Yeah. Things that I quite like from her are the fact that she's gone in and completely obliterated the old board, so she's got rid of all the old...
They all do that, though. They all change up the stuff.
She's not done it in a good way, though, is she?
Well,
been
she's
at
made
abs-
Boris Johnson the foreign...
That, she should be fired for that. She should be... People need to... The SAS need to get into 10 Downing Street and remove her. On that basis, Boris Johnson has offended so many countries.
Yeah.
And then he's put as foreign...
I know.
There is no way she has done that for him to succeed.
It's like putting Prince Philip...
She's done it to
in the
destroy...
foreign
She's done it to
secretary.
destroy him so that when the elections roll around again, he won't have a chance.
He's got no
Oh,
chance
wow,
now.
yeah, he'd be fired straight away.
But after Brexit, he's got no chance of, in my opinion, he's got no chance of being
He
a
didn't step
politician
up to the
anyway
plate,
because
did he?
he's nothing. Yeah.
What she's done is she's taken down all the artwork in Downing Street. She's in 11 Downing Street. She's taken all
a bigger
the art down from the house.
And what she replaced it with, Rob?
With quotes of her own speech.
Holy
She's a
mother.
psychopath.
I'm pretty sure Hitler did that.
She is a psychopath.
Yeah, that sounds like something Hitler would do. She like Hitler.
And also, what's happened since she's come
She
in?
has got a bit of a moustache.
What's happened since she's come in as well? University fees have gone up.
Oh, what a surprise.
Basically pricing the poor people out of education.
Well, that's what they're doing in America, isn't it?
At least in America they have scholarships. Over here it doesn't matter whether you're good at it or not, you still got to pay for it. But it's okay because you don't have to pay that loan back and the interest won't start to get applied until you've left.
When Labour were in power and Tony Blair stepped down and Gordon Brown took over from him,
Yeah.
she stood up and she said, Gordon Brown has no mandate to be here. Nobody has voted for him. He's no right to be here. He should call an immediate vote. And then she does exactly the same thing.
That's how she gets into power.
And I just feel like if you were any decent person, if that was me, yeah, I'd be pissed.
And the funny
Yeah, I'd hate to have to do it.
Yeah.
And I would, if I wanted to be Prime Minister and this was how I got in, I'd be like, fuck's sake. But
Hypocrite.
I have to stand by what I've said previously. This is modern day.
Yeah.
Anything that you have said, especially at
Gets
high
recorded,
level,
yeah.
is recorded somewhere.
Mhm.
She can't get away from that, and she's just living her life, ignoring it, pretending like she never said it. How
Mhm.
can you do that? Oh, a couple of facts here. Apparently,
Go on.
she coined the term "nasty party" to describe her own party. Another thing that puts me off her being in control of a country or a group of countries that is progressively going in the way we want it in terms of quality and everything is that she voted against gay marriage.
She voted against a lot of things like that.
Where she voted, yeah, she was pro-Iraq war, pro-Afghanistan, pro-Trident, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
We're not even going to touch on the fact Trident's been renewed because that's going to set me off. But
Did you see what she said about she'd quite happily destroy
Oh
loads
my
of...
God, no, you're going to set me off.
Go on, say it.
she's quite happy to kill loads of innocent women and children.
Oh,
so
I
the
saw that,
Scottish-
yeah.
Yeah, so a Scottish MP stood up and he said, we need to know that the person in charge of pressing that button would be willing to possibly risk killing hundreds of thousands of innocent women, children and men. And she stood up and she said, of course I am.
Yeah.
You fucking psychopath! That's not the correct answer.
No,
that was
no.
a trick question, you dickhead.
Just-
Should have said no
and
answer.
turn around and say, you know what? We'd make sure we're not. And sit down. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We'd make sure we're not... They might say, how are you going to do that? Well, we've got the correct things in place not to do it. Simple as that. You're a
Yeah.
politician. Work your way out of it. Don't just sit there and say, yes, you know what? I'm willing to kill 100,000 innocent people in order to get what I want.
Especially-
Hi, Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
One thing that actually I saw that she said was, in tough times, everyone has to take their share of the pain. Like, are you trying to brown nose the fucking Queen? Because that's what the Queen always says. The Queen is always the same thing. Oh, in our time of hardship, we
Yeah.
all have to come together. Fuck off, love! Look at that fucking crown on your head and that chair you're sitting in. Sell that and then talk to us.
Pretty sure she
Millions
doesn't
of
pay
pounds.
tax either, does she?
No, she doesn't pay tax. She can break any law she wants if she wanted to.
Doesn't get audited.
Doesn't get audited. Yeah, they could be
Finances.
money laundering like fuck and no one would even know.
No.
They could be taking money from terrorists, giving money to terrorists. No one would even know.
Was it?
I mean, I don't know if they are. I'm not saying they
No.
are. It's not a conspiracy theory. I've got just saying,
You
like
don't know.
they don't get audited, so
You
there
don't
could
know.
be anything happening with that money. The money that they take, theoretically, the money that the Treasury says, yes, we need this for the Queen, that could be going anywhere.
Theresa May, I'd personally like to see the Human Rights Act go because I think we have had some problems with it.
And what problems has she had? She can't get poor people to do what she wants them to do.
Yeah.
She has to pay people properly. She has to feed them properly. They have to have the collect clean water.
They have rights.
And it's ridiculous as well. And I know that people sit out there and they say, yeah, but if they got rid of the Human Rights Act, they'd make another law, you know. Like, it's not like they're just going to get rid of it and make us all slaves. That's great, and that's probably true. But can you trust Tories to create a law that's gonna look after everybody?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Not just
because
the
they've
rich.
never done it in the past. Why would they do it now? Anything good happened to you two this week?
I mean, I have had some really good happen to me, but it is just good. It's not funny or anything like that. It is just good.
Is it? Ah,
No.
Go on.
I've signed by a record label.
Oh,
have you
Thank
really?
you very much.
nice. Yeah.
Congratulations.
In Chicago.
Nice one.
I've got a gig out in Chicago in October.
Have
In
you
front-
really?
In front of 70,000 people.
Wow.
Thank you very much, boys.
Fuck.
Thank you very much.
That's incredible.
I'm finally on my way.
Sure, that's
Shit.
fucking crazy.
So, yeah. You
Made
heard
it.
it here first.
Wow.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say.
I've just got to make some music now.
Yeah.
Chicago.
I know, we invited to Chicago.
Hang on, I've only found out, yesterday.
So that's a yes.
So, where you want to
That's
go?
24 hours you've had to just reply. Can my friends come?
Well, I just...
That's right, we'll go
I don't want to talk
backstage.
about it much. I don't want to talk about it in case I jinx it, but I just thought, that's...
We'll
that's
put a
the
link
best
to
thing.
Sean in the description and the bio and all that
Like,
stuff.
comment, subscribe.
So you can get on that one.
Something must have happened to you guys.
No. Not that I can think
I did
of.
some shopping.
You bought anything? Crazy?
No.
No.
I spent a lot of money this month.
I got pranked.
Go on.
I got pranked yesterday. I
We not
was
already
driving
recorded
to Basingstoke. If anybody knows, I'm also part of the Bristol Survivors Club, which is also from Feel Good Presents. And we were driving to Basingstoke to do some filming. And I drove all the way there, over an hour, with a sign on the back of my car that said, "Honk if you're horny." And I had no idea it was there. And weirdly, considering how long I drove for it on, I feel like more people should have honked. Probably about 10 people. Maybe not even that.
Was it quite a big sign, or was it just like a piece of paper stuck on the back of the
No,
car?
it was like part of the crisp box. It was huge. On the back of the car. It was almost from on the back bit, from light to light. It was quite big, yeah, and the writing was, I imagine, easily visible. Probably about 5 people honked at me, but still. All those people driving past, seeing Feel Good on the car, got a little sticker that says Feel Good Skate Code and honk if you're horny.
Feel good. Honk if you're horny.
Yeah.
Puts out the wrong message, really, doesn't it?
And Luke, who was in the car with me, kept saying, "People are giving you evils, Ben. People are giving you strange looks." We decided to make a new part of the podcast, which we're going to do each month, which is weird things that people do that we don't do. Because it seemed like that was coming up in conversation somehow anyway.
Yeah.
So we just figured we'd make it a part of it. And Rob had one, which was people clapping on an aeroplane. And then Sean had Americans leaving their tea bag in their cup of tea, even regular cup of teas that you put milk in and everything.
Yeah.
Leaving that in.
Bizarre.
So it's my turn this week, and I wasn't really sure what to do. And then I was in an Italian restaurant the other day, and I could see these couples sat over in the corner, and they went in and they sat down, and they seemed that they didn't really want to order anything. They were on their phone, and I couldn't understand what they were doing. And it turned out that they were on their phone looking for offers on the internet before they ordered to make sure that they could definitely get some money off. And it was like if they couldn't find any offers for this restaurant, they were going to leave.
Wow.
And so mine is people who go into restaurants, get out their phone and look for money off vouchers. That's almost really, it's almost offensive. It's really disrespectful.
Further to that is people that sit on their phones in a restaurant, period.
Well, see, now this Italian restaurant's right next door to a Pokemon stop, so mine was on the table. I'm kidding. But they just sit there and they whip out their phone and they go on voucher and stuff.
You
and
obviously
look
do
for
that
it.
beforehand.
You do that before you
But
get there.
if you've seen it, yeah, then you go there. But don't go to a restaurant, look for a voucher, and if you can't find one, leave.
Yeah,
I think that's really disrespectful to the restaurant. Go to a restaurant because you like the food there. If you can get money off, you can get money off. But if the chef's doing a good job, the waiting staff are doing a good job, go to the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That is a bit strange.
But is it weirder than people clapping on an aeroplane?
Not to me.
I think it's becoming more
Normal.
to shop around, because you do it for everything. You do it with your car insurance, you do it with your bank accounts, you do it with everything financial. You shop around for.
I agree.
You go back 15 years. You know, I was chatting to my old man, and he said that you never used to shop around for car insurance. You'd stay with the same insurance provider year after year for 20, 30 years because it was too much effort to shop around. It's now made so easy to shop around to get the best price that everyone is doing it.
It's all
I agree.
hand.
You know, do your shopping around, but don't do it in the fucking restaurant when you're already sat there. You've already got a cup of drink in front of you.
I still think the thing is, you don't cringe and think, I really want to punch that person if they do it in a restaurant. But if someone claps on a fucking aeroplane.
So that was episode 3 of Three Guys Who Know Nothing Discuss Everything. Thank you very much for listening. We'll be back again next month, obviously, with another episode. Check out Feel Good and Feel Good Presents. Obviously, we are presented by those guys. Check out their Patreon page as well. You can subscribe to get some limited content just for subscribers. It's only $2 a month, or about £1.50, so it's not much at all, and you get added content, you get money off Feel Good clothes, all that kind of thing. So please do that, it helps us out a lot. And we'll be back next month. Bye bye.